Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Carol, I'm talking to you. Good afternoon, Carol. Hello, Carol. I know. Got a little worried there. It's a few minutes before the top of the hour. I'll just say the top of the hour in case anybody is watching from a different time zone here. Could be 2 p.m., could be 3 p.m., could be 1 p.m. for them. I don't know. How's everybody doing today? Is everybody enjoying the weather this week? I have spent a lot of time outside in this weather this week, watching my grandson's 2-hour baseball practices, riding my bike for exercise. Oh my goodness. I'll be happy. I think a couple more days we head south. The temperatures head south a little bit. But we'll get started in just a couple minutes here. You know, before we get started, I just want to share, I am so happy that our air conditioning system is working really well. Michael and his team, as well as our vendor, K. Pearson Mechanical, did a lot of prep work this spring. Really starting back to last year, but this spring, on our 2 chillers, our cooling tower, and everything that is connected to the cooling system. And boy, at a time like this, when we have this kind of weather, it sure is nice. And we just haven't had to worry about it at all. Should I say I never worry? I do my fair share of worrying, but it's good to have confidence during the summer in our cooling system and during the winter in our heating system. And so much work goes into maintaining all of those. Whenever you always see Michael around the building, and Michael's, he's got a pretty serious face for the most part. Michael's a great guy. But thank him for what he does. He is so dedicated to his work, going back to this asphalting project here. He was here many, many extra hours, early in the morning, 6 a.m. Friday he was here, I think, until 8:30, until they wrapped up the asphalting over here. I'm glad he didn't stay until the striping was done over here. Apparently Rianne and somebody else I was talking to. Who was I talking to this morning about the striping on the east side? They were awake at 3:30 watching that happen. Well, that must have been the sound that it's now 2 o'clock. So, good afternoon, everybody. And let me get this right this month. Welcome to the July edition of the July 2026 edition of the management meeting. And I can hardly believe that we are already more than halfway through this year. It just seems like it was New Year's last week. This year is going so fast, but all of the work around here keeps us very busy, and I know keeps many of you busy as well with committee business and different groups that are having different activities and the board of directors. It's just being busy makes time fly sometimes. Usually today, Jake is going to get up here and share some information. He's going to come in about 2:20, 2:30 or so when I am finished. Usually I let others go before me, but I'm going to lead off the management meeting today. And I have a lot of the same topics that have updates that I'm going to bring to you. And then Michael is going to come in at the end, and he is going to give some further updates on the things that are going on with maintenance around the building, and is also going to answer questions if any of you have. So all of us that speak give the opportunity for questions and answers, and we're happy to do that. Because one of our primary reasons for being up here, as well as when the board gives their board report, is to share information with everybody. I'm going to save this here. I want to just remind everybody, every management meeting, because I don't think we can be reminded enough about the emergency response plan that we have that was developed by our management team, primarily LaDamian, LD, at the security desk, and Jake and Michael had a large part in this as well as our fire marshal coming in and doing a presentation and giving guidance on fire emergencies. So I just want to remind everybody, if you don't have this, make sure you get one. They are available in the office. Take the opportunity to review this regularly. So as I bring it up during a management meeting, take that as your reminder for July to when you go back to your unit to grab this. Great place to have this is on your refrigerator. And you have the opportunity to read through all of the different emergency situations, look at the map on the back, find where your apartment is situated in the building, and where the stairwell and the exit most accessible to your unit is. And just as a reminder, if there is a fire emergency, the protocol is to do what? Is to evacuate. Unless you are not able to, or if you choose not to. Everybody has their own agency for that. But the protocol, according to the fire marshal, they are the experts on fire emergencies, and for our building is to evacuate. Information is on here, a map is on the back, so please refresh your memory with that regularly. And if you have any questions about that, the information that's on it, please see LaDamian at the security desk. Speaking of LaDamian, LaDamian is working on the keyless entry system. I have brought updates on that over the past months several times. The fobs have arrived. I think they arrived at the time before the last meeting, but he is in the process of encoding all of those, entering all of those names of members and all of the serial numbers of the fob. Deep in my pocket. There's a little panic. My whole life is on this keychain. But this is what the fob looks like, and on every fob there's a serial number on there, and that gets encoded into the system. At the same time, simultaneously, our management team has put together a draft policy for fobs, keyless entry, and the board is considering that policy, and I'm hopeful that that will be passed at the next board meeting at the end of this month, and then will be shared with everybody. It is primarily about the distribution of fobs, and who will have them and how many FOBS members will have. That is yet to be finalized, and at the same time, Ladamian is working on encoding all of that, and so once all of that is done, there will be a distribution process to all of the members and guidance shared on how to use them. More to come on that. The North Plaza Link waterproofing project is essentially done. We did discover one bubbling in the waterproofing coating. It is not cracked through, but it's a bubble that's about this long and about that wide, and the contractors have come out to take a look at that, and they are going to repair that. There have also been some hairline fractures noticed along the expansion joints, and they have looked at those as well and are telling us that there are no concerns with those, and we are going to monitor those. They are just on the very surface. It is not a situation where water will seep through, so the waterproofing coating has not been breached. The lobby and balcony project continues to progress. There have been many, many meetings, many communications. I can't tell you the hard work that the committee has put into this, as well as members from our staff. And I would call out primarily Barb Murphy, who is probably the lead as far as the interior design from our staff working with the committee. Barb has handled these types of projects before with the cooperative, and I see all of the communications that she does, the emails, the phone calls. She's put in an extraordinary amount of work into this, along with Becky Lien, who is the chair of the committee, and the rest of her committee, also Michael from our staff, Ladamian from our staff, and I know I am missing one other person, Michael, Barb, Ladamian. Yeah, I think that's it. Pardon? Oh, I thought that was for me. So a lot of work going into that. There's an approved contractor, and we're waiting for the complete package of all of the proposals. So not only the contractor work that, the majority of the work, but we're waiting on things for the furniture and some of the decorative kinds of things. So once that complete package comes together, that'll be recommended to the board, or considered for recommendation to the board. The boiler project is coming along very well. The new boilers are in. They've been fully constructed. They have been water tested, leak tested. The work that is remaining on those is all of the connections to the existing venting, to the existing water pipes, the feeds, the water feed system, the reverse osmosis system. So all of those types of works by other contractors or subcontractors is going on. But these two huge green boxes are down there, and I watched the construction of them, building of them. It is very impressive. And perhaps at the next managers meeting, we'll have some pictures to show you of that whole process. It is very impressive. The garage cleaning, you have gotten some notices about this already, especially over York TV, but there will be other notices coming out by one call and email, and perhaps through a flyer. But the cleaning that is happening a second time on the south garage is happening on Tuesday, August 11, and that is at no extra cost to the cooperative. They did not do a good job the first time. Michael and I called that out to the contractor. They actually sent somebody back to redo it the same day, and we were not happy a second time on the same day. And so they are coming back to redo that. In fact, I think the owner of the company is coming back to do it himself. So everybody in the south garage will need to have their cars out of the south garage before 8 a.m. on Tuesday, August 11, and it may be better to get them out the evening before on Monday, August 10. Any questions about anything so far on any of those topics? Great. The exterior facade repairs or replacement. I'm just going to read this because I typed out something a little bit lengthy here. Some of this I have shared before, but I've added more to it. So Encompass Engineering, that's the engineering company that worked with the cooperative on the windows, exterior windows and doors. They presented their rough order of magnitude findings to the property committee and the board of directors. 3 different options were presented that included major repairs around the entire building, or replacing all the brick with additional repairs all around the building, or replacing the brick with cement paneling around the entire building that also includes additional repairs. All options continue to be evaluated extensively by the property committee. And the property committee has also commissioned 3 groups led by members of the property committee in the areas of marketing, finance, and technology to help the committee in its process to arrive at a recommendation to the board for the repair or replacement of the building facade. So a lot of careful thought and effort. A major effort is going into considering this. And the Finance Committee is also at work considering the financial needs and the financial impact that doing this type of project will be. We know that any of these are into the millions of dollars. No decisions have been made, and I do want to assure members that always the impact on the members is being considered. I know members are concerned about that, and we don't know any of these things yet. No decisions have been arrived at, but I just want you to know, because I am a part of all or most of these meetings going on, that the impact that it will have on members financially is at the top of considerations for all of the committees and groups that are meeting about this. So more to come on. I don't have anything else to offer at this time than what I've just offered, but I just want you to know that a lot of work is going into this careful work. The new boardroom the renovation of that was basically complete, but was put on a short pause because when the new conference table for that room was delivered, one of the 2 table bases was damaged. And so we had to ask them to replace that. And that is being delivered on July 29 this month, Wednesday, July 29. And so I have asked that our team get everything put together as soon as possible after that so the room can be even more functional than it already is. The annual inspection for the 8th floor is coming up on Tuesday, August 4. Any questions about any of those other topics? Yes, Barb. Wait for the microphone. Why don't you go ahead and say your question, Barb, and I'll repeat it for York TV.
When the contractor was out here working on the northeast on the facade,
Yes.
repair, when they got some of the brick off, did they discover, do we or do we not have an adequate, thank you, vapor barrier behind the brick?
There is vapor barrier on the interior part of the wall. So if you are in your units and you have everybody has an exterior wall, of course, there is a vapor barrier there. There is not a vapor barrier on the exterior part of the wall.
So it's a dilemma that the brick is absorbing water from rain, and the brick, am I to understand, the brick is porous, so it's absorbing water.
Always, yes,
Yeah.
it's planned that way.
So on the part of the building that's not adjacent to any particular unit, is that where the water intrusion is coming in?
Yes, but there are perhaps different reasons for that. There is the exterior walls. So when you see the exterior walls here, that is a facade. There is a gap between the exterior facade and the interior walls of the building. And there's about 5 or 6 different layers of different materials between the outside brick and the interior drywall that's in your units or other walls around the building. Brick and mortar are porous. They are designed, or a building is designed, knowing that water will get behind through the brick, through the mortar, but there is a system that is designed behind the brick to bring the moisture back out. And what is failing, at least in some parts of the building, is the through-wall flashing that brings the water back out. And so because the water is not getting back out always as it should, sometimes there is water intrusion interior, as those in the 21 stack know, the 49 stack know, the 02 stack in the past have known, but there's also deterioration of some of the steel structure that holds that brick up. There is no danger of it affecting the structural soundness of the building. We are talking about the facade only. Yes, microphone.
Regarding our water system in the building, you mentioned reverse osmosis. Does that mean that our cold water in the future is going to have reverse osmosis?
The reverse osmosis is only for the boilers to treat that water. To do reverse osmosis for the entire building would be extraordinarily expensive. Okay, thank you for those good questions.
We have one.
One more.
Is there a protocol for repointing of brick on this type of building to maintain the brick, where you have to repoint it to waterproof it? And I've seen where they actually waterproof using like a fluid mixture that they spray.
Yes.
Would that help waterproof and preserve our exterior? Thank you.
That does serve some purpose, and that is built into our reserves to do that. And the last time it was done around the entire building at a very high cost, I can't remember, I don't know off the top of my head what it was, but I'm pretty sure it was in 6 figures, was in 2021. So it wasn't that long ago. But it is built in the reserves to do that periodically through the years. Yes, yeah. Good question. Good questions. Let me move along here. York Room. The Sunday brunch is coming up this Sunday, so be sure and make your reservations if you haven't already. Looks like a delicious menu. Some other announcements I have before I get into a few other things. I am working on the budget. I actually started working on the budget to some extent back in January of this year for 2027, next year. I just did a little bit of work to satisfy some curiosity that I had, but I started in essence about a month ago again, 3 or 4 weeks ago, preparing the multi-spreadsheet workbook that I use to prepare the budget. And it is not my budget, it is the cooperative's budget. And the first thing that I do when I have the workbook prepared is to get input from members. And I do that through committees. So I have scheduled a meeting at the end of this month on Thursday, July 30. I have invited all of the committee chairs, co-chairs, vice chairs, as well as staff representatives and board liaisons to come to this meeting so that members through committees have the opportunity to give input as I begin to prepare the budget. Preparing the budget, I also get input from all of my staff. We get input from all of the vendors that we work with. So a lot of work goes into collecting all of this financial data to put into the budget. And a meeting that I'm having the same day following the meeting with the committee leadership is a meeting with the budget oversight group. So I have a group of 5 very powerful members here at the group, here at the cooperative. Very nice members. There are 3 board members and 2 chairs of committees, chair of the finance committee, chair of the property committee, the board president, the board vice president, and the board treasurer all sit down with me and I present my progress on the budget from month to month so that they as a group can see what is going into the budget before a final product is arrived at. And so it's a good process. We started that process last year. I think it went very well, and I find it very helpful. And it gives the membership more regular buy-in to the budget and the budget process. Just to remember that while you are away, if you go away, even if it's for a night, be sure and let security know so that when they do their OK checks and the flipper isn't down, they know that it's because you're away and you're not in some distress in your unit. We are also continuing to collect HO6 declaration pages. So everybody needs to be doing that regularly every month. Your insurance expires every year, and so it's renewed every year. And we need, as proof of insurance, because it is required through the bylaws here at the cooperative to have HO6 coverage that is for personal property as well as loss assessment. So as your insurance renews, be sure that you are turning in your declaration pages to the office, to Holly. Also, letting you know, I will be on vacation during the first 2 weeks of August. I don't think I've ever taken a 2-week vacation before. I am going away to a top secret location. And Jake will be the manager in charge. Let me know how it goes while I'm gone. And our regional manager, Don Muntz, will be available as well during the time that I am away. And I stay connected while I am away. I continue to work to some extent, even when I take a vacation, keeping up with my email and any emergencies that might arise. Any questions about my vacation? Good. I would not be answering them. All right. I want to address some concerns that a member has here. I received an email this week, and I was happy to receive this email this week. And I think that I'm going to have a section in my management meeting each month, a section that is titled, I'm glad you wrote, or I'm happy to hear from you. Because sometimes members have concerns or perhaps even complaints that other members may also have, but they're maybe don't feel comfortable with sharing. So I'm not going to, say who this member is or how they described themselves, but just let me share some of these things because I think it's important to respond. The first thing in the email was that I don't know exactly the time frame, maybe it was a year ago, 2 years ago, even 3 years ago, when Michael Ordorf, who's our director of property, came on board and said that the days of band-aiding the mechanical problems was over. And this member feels that that has proven otherwise. And how skilled are the vendors that are doing these repairs? Well, I can say with great confidence that the days of band-aiding repairs, mechanicals, these types of major repairs that we have are indeed over. We are not band-aiding anything. Our vendors are not band-aiding anything. We are doing repairs properly. We are not deferring maintenance. We are not putting Band-Aids on things. We are identifying problems that come up, or that if there's a leak in major pipes, who was affected by the water outage on the west side today? Hopefully, well, not hopefully, probably about half of you live on the west side. When a major water line develops a leak, we have to attend to it. We don't just wrap duct tape around it. We don't put we might put a temporary repair on it to get it to stop dripping until we can do the proper repair, but we are doing proper repairs here. We are not band-aiding anything. And how skilled are these vendors that are doing this? These are very skilled vendors. The next sentence is a statement, or if the vendors are highly skilled, then let's correct this plumbing issue once and for all. Well, we could do that. There are miles and miles and miles of pipes in this building, not only running vertically down at the garage level, so whoever parks down at the garage and you look up in the ceiling, you see pipes just running back and forth, all kinds of different pipes. Cold water pipes, hot water pipes, condensate pipes, for heating and cooling and waste and venting. There are all kinds of pipes. And we could take care of it all at once. And I looked in our reserve study, and our reserve study is 30 years. So we have projected replacement costs, including for pipes, going out for 30 years. I just looked at the next 15 years. Over the next 15 years, there is $5.6 million planned for just replacing pipes. So we could do that all at once and spend millions of dollars fixing everything all at one time, or we can do repairs on a planned or scheduled, or sometimes on an emergency basis when there is a leak. Very seldom is there something that is catastrophic that takes place immediately. Usually things just start with a drip, drip, and we identify those and we put in for a work order, and we have vendors come in and take care of that. And yes, those individual repairs are expensive, into the thousands of dollars, sometimes into the tens of thousands of dollars. But it would take an extraordinary amount of time and would take an extraordinary amount of money to try and fix everything once and for all at the same time. It is not practical. Now, okay. We don't need a TV outside on the plaza. How that got approved, I don't know, but we're operating on a shoestring. We are not operating on a shoestring here. We have a budget, and the budget has gone through a lot of different checks and scrutiny and approval, recommendations and approvals, and there was an ad hoc committee that worked for the furniture, the outdoor furniture, as well as the gazebo and the planters, and also a TV that can be wheeled outside once we get the cable connection for it. The TV was actually a very low-cost part of that whole project, but there was an ad hoc committee approved that was established by the board, and that ad hoc committee brought a recommendation that was approved by the board for what you see out there. All unnecessary spending should have ceased long ago. You always have to ask the question, unnecessary to whom? There are a lot of expenditures here at the cooperative. There are lots of different amenities. Not every single member uses every single amenity. But there is somebody using all of the different amenities at one time or another. So whether they are necessary or not necessary, that is something ultimately that the board will decide based on recommendations that come from not only committees, but sometimes management as well. Why are we spending money on another consultant who is working with members on unit inventory when we have 35 staff? Our 35 staff are 24 full-time staff, 8 part-time staff, and 5 casuals. We need casuals because when staff members take time off, there has to be somebody to fill their place in some cases. But the person doing the inventory, Anthony, who's had contact with Anthony, either in here or he's come into your unit. He's not a consultant. He's on contract. The board approved this. The cost to the cooperative for him to do the initial unit inventory, as well as all of the follow-up, is $50 a unit. It's not nothing, but it's negligible, because when you have a corporation such as we have, it is necessary to know what equipment you have at all times. And when you are having members move in and out of units that belong to the corporation, but at any given time are being leased back to the members to hold the share, things have to be in good condition. We in management need to know what's there. We need to know whether it's an upgrade, whether it is standard, what is the age of it, so on and so forth. So it's very important to have an inventory, and it's necessary for somebody that knows what they are doing with that to be doing it. The water issue today was out from 10 o'clock in the morning until about 11:30. It was scheduled until noon. It was done a little bit early. That is an inconvenience, to be sure. How many people were really annoyed by the water outage today? I see one hand. It's not ideal for seniors, many of whom shower later than you working folks. That would mean us, I guess. I don't know if that is true or not. And then there's the issue of unavailable toilets. Need I say more? No, nothing more needs to be said. And I don't want to get graphic or anything. I didn't grow up. I spent 30 years in the third world. I spent 1 year living in a house that did not have running water, and I had to pump water every day. And to flush the toilet, you put water in a bucket, and you prepare to flush the toilet. Is it an inconvenience? Yes, I know it's an inconvenience. We give advance notice and the time frame of it, and members have the opportunity to take a shower earlier or later.
Mitch,
Yes,
I just want to add, we have to work around our restaurant too. So we only have certain times that we can shut water off for the restaurant so that you folks can continue to cook for you and they can clean the dishes.
that was the next thing on my list. We have to consider the restaurant because we have to do it when it is most convenient to them. They need water in the restaurant to prepare their meals, to wash dishes and so forth. And midday is the best time for that. I think it's important to answer questions, and I welcome questions. I like difficult questions. All of you here are member owners. You deserve information, and I do my best, and our team does our best to bring you the information that you want and that you need. And I have run a lot longer than I intended. My apologies. I'm going to turn it over to Jake, and Michael is also going to have some time here at the end. And this is available if anybody. It has not been used.
I'll get it working, I hear you. No pressure. No pressure. Computer guy says. Thank you for your patience. All right. I won't be talking about buckets or doing unmentionables in buckets, so my presentation is going to be a lot less riveting and entertaining. All right, I just wanted to give you some administrative updates. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jacob Watson. I'm the office manager, and I work with Holly and Melissa to keep things going administratively in your building. So I'm going to go over a few things. We're going to go over the resident directory, Comcast Xfinity questions, parking, and avenues of communication. after each one, I'll take a few questions. So just go ahead and after I'm done with the section, ask me a question. So those are our agenda today. We're going to try to rip through because Michael has something to say too. So resident directory, it is now complete. Everyone should have all of their pages to put in their binder. Some things for you to know, the directory is now available on the member portal, both the photo and the just numbered version. The printed front section was distributed the last week of June to everybody, so everyone should have that. If you don't, come to the office and Holly can print you a copy. Corrections have already been made to the current edition, and those corrections are reflected in the online directory as well as the directory on the little shelf outside the office. Please notify the office whenever you have contact information changes. So if your phone number changes, your email changes, who is the responsible party for anything else, please let us know so we can update those things as quickly as possible. Future updates throughout the year will be made to the online directory and the reference copy. We're going to not do the quarterly updates just due to the expense of all of that paper. So all the updates will be on the online directory and the office reference copy, and then the new version will come out at the end of June each year, I think, going forward. And then an information update event will be held again on Halloween. Members can come, see us in costume, do any updates, ask any questions about that. And then if you have information, though, beforehand that's changed, we would really appreciate everyone's effort to come and let us know about those changes as quickly as possible so we can make sure we have good contact information for you as well as your neighbors. Any questions about the directory? Because I do also have one little tidbit from Holly to read to you. Is there any questions? Holly wants everyone to know that she is going to, at the beginning of every month when the York Times comes out, the coming events highlights on the calendar, she will then reprint and put the latest version of the photo directory with new members as well as the other directory as well. So those will be updated with the other materials that come from the office to start the month. So that's what she's going to be doing. Rianne. Yes, Rianne just asked if we're going to do those updates on the directory on the top as well as online in red print so people can identify those. Yes, that's what we tried to do last year when we did the quarterly updates, and we'll continue to do that for the online version as well as the printed version so people can kind of keep track. We also have our new member board to help you kind of identify new members and then seek their information in both directories. So that is what I have to say about that. All right, Comcast Xfinity, everybody's favorite internet cable provider, right? Mitch, do you have a question?
I have a mic.
I just want to highlight this again. Individual Xfinity accounts belong to each member. What does that mean? It means my ability to do anything with your account is fairly limited. I can't help you with billing matters. I can't issue credits to your account. I can't speak to what packages and add-ons that you have. All of that is private information because that's your account that you can make changes to. It's affiliated with your name, your apartment number, and things of that nature. So if you are having issues with being charged and you think you shouldn't be, if you're having issues that something was added on and you didn't add it or maybe you mistakenly did, you either have to go to the store or call the bulk line number, and that's on the portal. If there's issues with your service as far as you're having some reception issues or there is an issue technology-wise in your unit, I can definitely schedule a service call, but I can't manipulate or do anything with your individual account. So I've had a lot of members the past several months ask me about things on their account that they want adjusted or they want add-ons taken off. As much as I would love to do that, I can't. So just be aware if it's something with money or something more in the kind of the administration of your account, I can't really assist you with that. So my limitations are I can schedule a service call for you. I can coordinate property-wide events like our upgrade thing that we had several months ago, and I can manage the building-wide service and some of the equipment down in the garage. But I can't really do too much to help you with your billing issues or other account changes. So please be sure that you reach Xfinity by phone or the store on France. They have been talked to about being familiar with us, that we're a bulk customer. So if you go there and tell them you're a bulk customer, they should be able to assist you with any matters that may be happening with your account. I hope that is helpful to you. Is there any questions I can answer about Comcast Xfinity that's kind of within my ability to answer?
You mentioned France Avenue. Whereabouts on France Avenue?
It's on France and I believe 69th, 68th, like right there, right behind the big Target, next to Crumble Cookie. So you could go to Comcast and get a nice big Crumble cookie after you're done. You'll need that sugar after having to wait in line and talk to them. Correct. Yes, ma'am. All right, on to our next topic, parking. My favorite thing. Parking demand here remains high and wait times vary. I just want to make new members, current members know that moving within the garage, as well as getting a spot if you don't have one, is always going to be difficult, and I do my best to make it happen. Typically, I don't get parking spots under the best of circumstances. It's either someone's moving away, which is sad, they maybe have passed away, which is sadder, or they can't drive anymore, which is very sad to them and, sad for me as well, because, it's a big source of independence in this country. So I'm never getting a parking spot in good circumstances, but I do my best to manage that amenity. We're almost 100 spots short for how many units we have here, even including like the exterior spots that are coveted. So it's something that we really try to manage effectively in the office. Just to restate from what I said last year, there still are 2 lists that are maintained. People that want to move from their spot because they don't like it or it's not suitable for their needs. And there's a general wait list for people just waiting to get a spot in general. So I try to manage both those lists. Typically what happens is when someone gives up their spot for whatever reason it may be, I reach out to the people who want to move. And if they want it or do not want it, then it goes to the general wait list. So that is the process that we have in the office to manage this amenity. Members that wish to change their parking stall should contact me so I can add you to that move list. I literally had someone ask me almost 2.5 years ago to move, and I just moved them this month to the spot that they wanted, and they were so happy. So just know it could be that long, but some people have asked to move. I put them on the list, and I get them moved that month. It just depends on what's transpiring. So if you want to move, get yourself on that move list. We continue to manage and review parking opportunities whenever they become available. So we do have some different options that we've been able to acquire over the years to make parking a little bit more manageable, especially in the winter time. So we really are trying to manage this amenity as best as we can. And then something just to add, please respect assigned exterior parking spaces on the exterior of the building. If there is a reserved sign with a number, someone is paying for that spot. If you could just let your friends, families, caretakers, or maybe even yourselves just reminded that someone is paying to have that spot and depending on it, please don't take it. And if somebody does by accident, please do not take matters into your own hands. Come and see security. Come and see me so we can intercede on your behalf and avoid conflict. Any questions about parking? Man, you guys have no questions. That makes me nervous. Communication. You guys are going to definitely have questions about communication. Before I go into all this, I'm just going to tell you, I have never tried to communicate more in a place and feel every day as if I am failing every time I try. So I just want to say that before we start. So we have tried both all the management team and the staff team trying to get ourselves consolidated on our communication so we communicate very well together. And then we are trying to, through our communication, communicating well as a team, we're trying to communicate with you effectively too. But I think we've added so many layers of communication that possibly it's confusing. So I'm going to try to tell you what thing we're using to communicate what thing. And I also am going to send an email kind of recapping this so you can see it. And I will also be sending a printed copy, my least favorite thing, to everyone's box so they kind of know where to look for what things. So first thing that we use is kind of the first thing we do every day is we go on York TV, right? We give you a daily update on property news, projects, all the fun things that are going on with our RAC friends. We go over all that different things and the important information for that day. Maybe water shut off like today, the drone flight for today. So we try to hit all those things. On top of that, we also try to let you know the day before or more when there's more urgent things that are coming up. We had the resurfacing on the lots. We've had different things that have come up. So one call, the text, the email, and the voice call that many of you receive, that's one call, and that's for our really time-sensitive, important, as brief as we can, announcements to let you know something that may impact you taking a shower or, using the restroom or whatever other thing may be happening. MailChimp is another thing that we use, and Mitch mostly uses that. We also use it sometimes in the office, and that's for more detailed announcements. Maybe there's something that needs a little bit more explanation for you to be able to understand what's occurring. Maybe it's an update like we were with the waterproofing project. So that's something that gives a lot more explanation. We are also incorporating that for using it for newsletters and flyers to let you guys know different things like we did with the resurfacing on the lot, trying to communicate those things as well. So all these things kind of work together to try to communicate everything we need to communicate with you, because boy, a lot of things happen here, doesn't it? And just a lot of things need to be told. So that's kind of what we use the different tools for. So this is an example of something that Holly has created. This goes on both York TV and on a YouTube scroll that kind of communicates to you what's happening when, and we're trying to get these up as quickly as possible so you can refer to these different avenues of communication to know what's going on. So that's the water shutoff alert. This went out yesterday as soon as we knew about the drone flight. Fire alarm sounds, what do I do? We put that on the YouTube channel as well as on York TV, kind of keeping track of the inspections as we go floor by floor. These are all things that are on, York TV as well as the YouTube channel for people to keep up to date on what's happening with what activities are going on. Sent out an email through MailChimp letting people know that the directory is both on the portal, both of them. So these are all the things that we're doing to try to let you know what's going on. So if there are other ideas or feedback you could give us to help communicate with you better, that would be most appreciated, because we really are trying to make sure every member here knows what's going on any given day, because a lot goes on here. So I just wanted to kind of restate our commitment. We are committed to keeping members informed through multiple communication channels. Because many activities and projects occur throughout the property, we use every available method to provide timely and accurate information. So that's our commitment from us as a staff to you as members. So we want to make sure we're doing our darndest to make sure you know what's happening. So thank you for your time. Is there any questions or anything before I turn it over to Michael for the last 5 minutes?
Not a question, but I just want to clarify that bucket is for water.
I wasn't sure. Sorry about that. You guys have a good day.
Can
I
somebody
wanna begin by
flip on
saying-
the lights at the back, please?
I would ask for a bigger bucket if I were you. It's been a while since I've been to one of these meetings, so I wanted to come and answer any questions that anyone has, because it's been a busy last 60 days with everything that's going on. So yeah, Nan, I've got a microphone coming for you.
With our new windows and doors, is it possible to see on the bills how effective they are for heating and cooling?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Oh, excuse me.
Anyone else? Up here.
Thanks, Michael. Did they work out a resolution for the mailboxes as part of the lobby rehab?
The resolution is that they'll be replaced.
Any idea when?
When I get to it. That's on my list also.
One other question, where the lawn was dug up over on the east side between the building and the garden, what's the plan for refurbishing?
We're working on it.
Okay. I love these very specific responses. Thanks, Michael.
Most of the time, I'm dealing with vendors and their schedules. If it were up to me, it would have been done a month ago. Anyone else? Any maintenance subject?
Flowers, grass, bushes, what's going in there?
So it'll be grass and the arborvitae that are in the planters that go to the east garden. Those are going to be put in the ground. I'm going to reuse. Other questions? Yep, in the back.
This is probably a really stupid question, but in seeing those little robo mowers, used at golf courses and people's yards, would that be anything that could be utilized for some areas to save money? Noise?
So her question is if we could do any of the lawn cutting with like a robot mower. We pay a service to take care of the turf. At first thought, off the top of my head, I don't think that's an option because part of the service that the lawn company provides is they pick up any sticks and debris that are on the ground prior to mowing. So that would be hard to do without running over those sticks or ruining a mower. Yep. Yep. We got one up here.
I don't have a question, Michael. I just want to thank you because you have done an amazing job on bringing a lot of these things up to date that were sitting waiting. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm hoping that you're happy with some of the work. There's certainly a lot of work going on inside and out. But we're checking these things off little by little, right? And the parking lots, that box is checked. Now that's in my rear view mirror. I'm still trying to catch up sleep from that project. And so that everybody knows, currently we are in the middle of the whole boiler room, all the equipment down there is being replaced. We've got new boilers, a new reverse osmosis system for the boilers, new feed pump piping for the boilers. So this is all going to provide really good state-of-the-art, high-efficiency heating system come wintertime. So I'm really looking forward to that because we are going to really, I can't put a number on it yet, of course, but we're going to reduce our footprint when it comes to heating this building big time with these high-efficiency boilers. And of course, when the time is right and it's all been completed, we'll have some really cool pictures and video of that area down there, and we'll be glad to share that with you. So, yeah.
I live on the link, and so when the message came yesterday for water shut off, I thought, well, am I west side or what am I? Do you have more than 2 water systems, one for east, one west, and one for the link? Or
So the question is, Mickey's asking about water shutdown. Just so everybody knows, approximately, we have about 10 miles of piping in this building. Now, we've got a west side, we've got an east side, we've got a link. Sometimes to shut water down on the west side, we have to go halfway through the east side of the building. There's not a lot of shutoffs for the big pipe. And we're not talking small pipe, we're talking big pipe. And there's not a lot of shutoffs in there. So I have to deal with what we already have and where those are shut off. So I'm trying to give you as best of an answer to which stacks are going to be affected, but I don't always know. Now, today we had to replace a small fitting, which was about 7 inches long, and it was hot water only, but I had to turn off both cold and hot. And the reason I do that is because I don't want the cold water backflowing through the cold or through the hot line and vice versa. So when we go to shut off water to replace a fitting, we shut your stacks off so that it traps the water in your line and then it doesn't fall back down, because remember, every pipe that I replace, I have to drain. And that can take quite a while sometimes. So I always try to pinpoint this as best I can for you, but I don't always know because there's a lot of pipe. Yep, there had one back there.
Apparently, there's going to be some work done on this front entrance as far as digging up, I understand. And I heard at one point it was going to be next summer, and I'm questioning why we had paving done just recently if this is all going to be dug up.
Great question. We are going to be waterproofing the front circle, but that was not repaved. That was seal coated to help with waterproofing. Yes, we are going to be redoing this area out front. That's in the next couple of years, and it is in the budget. But that will be coming, and there will be some changes out there.
That project, the waterproofing on the south side of the south garage, which is essentially this area right out here, like Michael said, it's in the reserve study, and so there are reserve funds planned for that. But right now, we're waiting for the rough order of magnitude study on that project to be completed, so we have a better idea of what it is that needs to be done and a better idea of how much it costs. Right now, in the reserve study, there's $4 million plus planned for that. So there are savings already planned for that. But the rough order of magnitude will give us a better idea, and will also give us a better idea of the timing of when it needs to be done.
Thanks. Michael, I have a question about the North Plaza. How long is the warranty on the work we had done on the North Plaza?
The warranty for
the membrane that's making sure no water
yeah,
gets
that's
through.
a 5-year warranty on the coating.
I missed the discussion that went on recently about should we move chairs, shouldn't we move chairs? But I was out there last week visiting with some friends, and I noticed that we are leaving marks out there. Is that a problem?
Not necessarily leaving marks, but we just prefer you don't drag the furniture around. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mainly the marks that are being left are from dirt. So when the chairs are stationary and there's water flowing through, the dirt tends to stay there, and that's the main marking that you're seeing out there.
The guy who was washing the court this morning dragged many chairs around.
Yes, he did. He's rinsing off the plaza. Yep, so he's entitled to move those around. That's part of his job.
That was going to be my question too, just because we were having lunch and saw this guy doing that, and we're just wondering if he was going to get in trouble. Because
He's not, but you will.
No. Okay.
I think it's really important to clarify when we're talking about dragging the chairs. If you're just moving the chairs around, moving those chairs on the surface is not going to damage the surface. It's the material of those chairs is not something that is abrasive to the surface, and the waterproofing Puma coating that was put down is very, very heavy duty. Now, there was discussion, do you want somebody dragging furniture all the way across, back and forth? We prefer that it be picked up. And I don't know what discussion went on in the meeting, but moving chairs around a little bit, around the tables, that is not going to damage the surface.
All right, well, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Michael, and have a good afternoon, everybody. Enjoy no, don't go outside and enjoy, stay inside.